Hello everybody, IDS here with a long-form video. According to the poll, 85% of you said you wouldn't mind me doing some long-form videos. This is my first time doing this, and I don't want to do any editing, so hopefully this isn't shambolic in nature. Welcome to the definitive Toa Mata ranked tier list. Now, unlike my shorts, I'm not going to just throw up some memes. I'm actually going to put these in order of who I think is the best. I'm going to factor in everything here as well. This is going to include the set design, as well as the characters, as well as their powers and competency. It's going to be like a little bit of everything in terms of what makes me think they're the best character, best mark, you know, just an overall, who is my favorite Toa Mata. Now, this is my list, and I think there's going to be some hot takes here that are going to piss some people off. So, I'm going to leave all the flubs in here as well. I'm just doing this to entertain, so let's get started. Who is going to sit in last place? Already, this is going to be a crazy hot take to a lot of people, but in my opinion, the worst Toa Mata is Lewa. Now, Lewa is a fan favorite. I think he'd probably be in the top 3 of where most people would place in terms of their favorite Mata. He's a fan favorite. He's a fun guy, fun-loving, goofy guy, right? For me, primarily, honestly, I think Lewa is carried by the strength of both his mask and his weapon. The Miru is amazing. It's a great mask. It has cool, fun, tribal look to it. The big smile is amazing. It is a very cool mask design. Top tier. Love it. Axe as well. The axe is awesome. Love the Mata axe. Love the green. And the fact that most of the other Toa tools, in fact, all of the other Toa tools got recolored at least once. And I don't believe the Lewa Mata axe ever did get recolored. Makes it feel extra special. But why is Lewa my least favorite Toa Mata? Well, first things first, it's his build. This arm orientation is the worst arm orientation that the Toa Mata sets had. Only Lewa and Kopaka have it this way. And I'm always for keeping variety in between the sets. Honestly, my favorite sets in the clone era are ones that have slight variation. Like the Mata all have the same core build, but they are all varied. Unlike the Hordika, for example, where they literally are exactly the same except their mask and weapons. So I appreciate, you know, different shoulder widths. Honestly, I wish if they were going to do a narrow shoulder width, that Gali got it. But, you know, Lewa has it, which is the worst iteration of the shoulder orientation. And not only that, but it's not really depicted in this picture here, but Lewa's free arm that isn't his weapon arm is actually on one of these grey half pin, half axles, which means this arm flops around. It has no friction to it, which means this just free swings, and it isn't great. Not only that, but the combination of the slicer arm in this orientation with the hand is also kind of awkward. It makes his arm, the bend in his arm look a bit weird. Now, it's not really depicted in any media, but I've always had a theory that the reason this arm free swings is so these pins can fit into the slot on the axe. So if you do a gear motion, you can kind of have him do a chopping motion with both hands on the axe. Again, it's never been depicted in any media. It's never been on any of the instruction booklets or anything. But I want to say that was the intention. I just don't see any other reason why this is a free swinging arm. But, you know, and also that era of LEGO, they weren't doing color locked stuff, and they weren't doing, you know, modern sets, sometimes the play feature will be a weird color. Even G2 has it. Or they'll have to, we had to use a gray pin here because it's color locked. That LEGO wasn't doing that yet. So I don't really see the reason why they use a grey pin here, even though it's not depicted in the CG model. So already, the Lewa model to me is the worst. Secondly as well, you know, wacky tree guy. I just like some of the other guys better. So not my favorite character out of the 6, but probably on paper the worst of the sets, to be honest. But again, with all the Mata, they're great. I do like, again, the mask is great, the axe is great. They honestly make Lewa probably as iconic as he is, I do actually like the thick fingers here. I like the variety provided. You'd almost think he has good grip strength because he's jumping from tree to tree, but yeah. Due to this arm mainly, I think it puts Lewa at the bottom of the stack. I think he is the worst model. So, Lewa sits in 6th position. Okay, who goes into number 5? That for me would be Gali. Gali is my second least favorite Toa Mata. Again, saying, second least favorite is pretty negative. Again, I love all of these guys. But Gali falls into 5th place, sorry. The reason for that is, sorry, I'm going through all my pictures here. Reason for that is, it honestly comes down to character. Gali is a great set. I really like, again, the dual hooks are awesome. I love this hook piece. I love how much use LEGO got out of it as well. I love that it came in a bunch of different colors. Gali's mask is super rad. I love the fact that, again, giving the water character a trans mask was really awesome. I really like the subtle variety they did in making her unique. This evoking wider hips with these pins, evoking a breastplate with the unique hand, chest armor. This orientation of the legs implying that, she's got wider quads, wider thighs was great. So I honestly, no issues with the set, per se. It's just I find Gali a bit more of a boring character. Gali and actually No Karma, when they went back around to doing her as a Toa, kind of fall into the responsible adult role, which often, a female in a cast of males often falls into that trope of all the guys are fighting and no, Tahu, no, you need to behave. It's like it's not quite the nagging wife, but I think there is just a tendency that female characters get shafted to the I'm responsible role, and that's it. Gali, again, it's not super bad for Gali, and also I keep saying again, it's like a tick of mine. But yeah, it's just she's less interesting than some of the other characters. I do like that she's always fighting for the team to stay together when, Tahu and Kopaka are butting heads, or when Lewa is like, oh, those guys are fighting. I don't care. I'm gonna go swing around in the trees. But yeah, there is just more interesting characters than her. But she's great. She's just, yeah, I think her character is one of the least interesting. And there's another character that also fights to keep the team together, in a less nagging way. So yeah, I think Gali's just a little bit of a victim of her position as the sole female on the team. Still, she's great. She just falls into my second last slot. Now, who's next? I would actually put Kopaka in 4th place. Again, this might be a hot take. Similar to Lewa, I would say Kopaka is a fan favorite. People love Kopaka. I love Kopaka. Kopaka's character is great. Who doesn't love just cool, calm, collected, stoic guy? I do. I like that. But again, I think Kopaka just again comes down to his build. Once again, he has the narrow shoulders, which I like less. It makes him look a little bit, it adds a unique flavor to him. It's just my least favorite of the orientation. And honestly, that's probably about it. I really like Kopaka otherwise. His sword is super cool. Shield is cool, reused again. He's another victim of using the, similar to Lewa, the slicer arm in this orientation. I really do think this piece works better when the wider part is at the bottom. It just gives the arm a more natural bend. It's not so bad on Kopaka, again, because the shield kind of covers that. But yeah, it is another symptom. I never really thought about it, that both the narrow-shouldered guys have the slicer arm like that. Not something I thought about, but yeah, he's also a victim to it. But yeah, Kopaka is cool. Okaku is super dope. I like the fact that some of his Technic piping in this chest area, they gave him those in light grey. I never actually owned the set as a kid, so I didn't actually really take notice of that until later, but that was a nice little touch. But yeah, Kopaka, super cool. Character is awesome. Again, stoic cool guy, you can't really go wrong with it. It's just another one where he's one of the, as an actual build, falls to the bottom of the pile in my opinion. But great character nonetheless. Okay, now, third place was difficult for me. It was difficult for me. So, as you can see, it's almost like the Waiura guys in the bottom of my stack, while Akamai, I don't know how to pronounce the Kaita names properly, but the Akamai trio, what I would consider the strong in terms of muscle. I think this is almost a breakdown of strength as well. You've got the three strongest Toa up here. I don't know if it's ever explicitly stated that Tahu is explicitly stronger than Kopaka, but I always imagine that this is like the strong side of the team, given that Kopaka is more of a slender build, and these guys are the more agile, slender ones. But yeah, number 3 is difficult. So, instinctively, I almost want to put Tahu in there. Like, because I love Onua. Onua is such a cool character. He's you know, he's wise, but, you know, his friendship with Pohatu sort of brings him out of his shell. He has one of the unique builds, which is super cool. Onua's claws are one of the coolest weapons that Bionicle had in G1. But Tahu is Tahu. Tahu is incredibly iconic. He is a aggressive, yelling misogynist, which is really relatable. Just kidding. Again, there's just like this external elements that make Tahu stand out. The How is such an iconic mask. It's such a amazing design, and I think Bionicle probably wouldn't be where it was without the How just being as iconic as it is. That being said, the Bakari is an amazing mask, and if I'm not mistaken, it is the 2001 mask that came in the most colors, not including like misprints and stuff. I think I might be talking out of my ass on that. So and I guess I've spoiled number 1 in a sense there, but it was a real toss-up between these two, and honestly I can go back and forth. But given Tahu's iconography outside of just kind of the Mata, even just his build of, you know, the weapon arm and the iconic Bionicle hand that the Mata have, which they kind of lifted in the slices, but, you know, that's an iconic look of it in of itself. I am going to give Tahu the number 2 slot. So Onua, despite everything, falls into number 3. Again, it's difficult to say if he deserves to be there. He could very much be number 2 as well. But Tahu has external clout behind him that is really carrying him through this list. Again, not to take anything away from Tahu. Tahu was also great, and I joked about him being an aggressive piece of shit. But as the story progresses, it's great to see him become more and more responsible. You know, he becomes more level-headed, even though he's butting heads with Kopaka. You know, by the time it's 2008 rocks around, he realizes, look, I don't like you, you don't like me, to a degree. But you make the most sense to be second in command. You're leading the Fantoka team. It is cool seeing his growth, and you can't really take away Tahu's icon status from him. So Tahu goes into number 2. And again, these probably change on the day. I think... actually, no. I think 2 and 3 for me are pretty interchangeable. These 3, I'm pretty sure, I'm happy with that order. And let's be real, the GOAT himself, Pohatu, slots right into number 1 as the best Mata. Maybe I need to explain myself, but Pohatu is just amazing throughout. Again, in the wider context of the team, the fact that his set has the most unique build is great, with his own unique play function. It's fantastic. In a sense, he almost gets like a tiny bit more articulation than the rest. He uses the slicer arms in the good orientation that doesn't look weird. He gets 2 fully formed hands, which is cool. If you were a kid, it's like, ooh, the guns, that's cool. I've always kind of loved these studs on the side of the arm. In fact, they inspired Onopex. He also has those on his arms as well. Just to imply, you know, he's strong. He's got legs like tree trunks. This guy is a beast. The feet additions are such a unique weapon. Like, I think what's great about Pohatu in a lot of senses is that he is unique in so many ways. From the upside down torso to the foot-based combat he has, like the feet-based combat. Do we really see that too much in fiction? I don't think so. That's pretty cool. Even his character, you know, you think he's gonna be another, oh, I'm a brawny tough guy, but no, he's like the heart of the team. And, you know, he's And another, I feel like, tendency is to make the strong guy a dumb guy. Pohatu isn't like a genius or anything, but he's not an idiot. I'd argue he's the most emotionally intelligent on the team. You know, everyone likes him. The fact that even Kopaka's cold heart, everyone likes him. It's like, everyone has beef within the team, really. Except Onua, he just kind of sits in his cave. But, no one dislikes Pohatu. You can't dislike Pohatu. And even when we see an alternate universe, and we see the Toa in this different universe where they're all evil, Pohatu is so good. He remains good. Even in the evil universe, Pohatu is a good guy. So, you know, that's me just gushing over his character. And this is why G2 Pohatu absolutely fucking sucks. Because Pohatu's whole thing is he is good no matter what. So for them to portray him as like I hate everything, I'm Kopaka, was an absolute character assassination. Little tangent aside. But yeah, no, back to the matter at hand. So not only from a character perspective, Pohatu to me is the most interesting character. Again, they kind of dodge a lot of tropes, which again, Gali sort of fell victim of the kind of the troping. Even Kopaka, like, cold guy is cold and stoic. Cool, that's pretty expected. Tahu's a hothead because he's fire. Pretty expected. I think Pohatu's a little bit of a unique turn there. So unique in design, unique in character, and even if you factor in power set, he's the most balanced Toa. He's baseline the strongest Toa. Like, canonically, he's stronger than Onua, which people tend to forget. Again, which is weird when they later depict in G2 Onua like a gorilla build, and Pohatu's like a tiny little guy. Pohatu is stronger than Onua. Onua just juices. He has the Pakari. So he's the strongest Toa. And then they give him the Mask of Speed. He's a strong speedster. He's actually cracked. Pohatu is like too well balanced. He can handle shit himself. Like, the strongest Toa is the fastest Toa. Like, he's OP, really. I think there's probably debate in the in the superhero and like comic book communities about how speedsters are really kind of OP and shouldn't really be beaten by anything. And Pohatu's a speedster. He's the strongest on the team and a speedster. So, from a power standpoint, he's cracked. Stone is great as power. Again, it's the most redundant element, given the fact that Stone and Earth are basically the same thing, but, you know, it is what it is. That's a bionicle thing in general. Again, love his design. It's unique. I love the play feature of the foot being activated by the gear function instead of the arms. He has the arms in the correct orientation compared to Kopaka and Lewa. Fantastic character. It's really cool. You get the bonus of the boulder as well, an extra few pieces in the set. He also has the most pieces of the Toa Mata, so if you're a piece count person, he's the best value for money to buy. So yeah, so in my opinion, Pohatu is definitively the best Toa Mata. Now, again, this is a rambly, silly video. Of course, everyone is welcome to have their own opinion. Again, I think that there are some hot takes in here that will probably piss some people off, so please feel free to comment down below who you think the best Mata is. I'm just playing around with content at the moment. Again, I am still going to put out my animation. The new Onipex and Pals is coming soon. It's just animation takes time. I want to try and get some of these sort of longer videos out just to, get the content out that's maybe a little bit more, I say cerebral, it's not cerebral. A little bit more interesting than just the meme ranking stuff, but something that doesn't take too much of my time because I don't have much time. And the little time I have, I want to pour into actually getting the animation done. So, let me know if you like this video, if you found this interesting, if you want to hear more rambly videos of mine. And yeah, it would be good to know what your rankings are below. If you want to see more rankings like this, let me know as well. I don't know how to wrap up this video, so if you liked it, let me know. Let me know your Mata rankings. And yeah, peace out.